What's up, guys? Today we're going to be changing the oil in a 2017 TRD Pro 4Runner. If you have an SR5 or off-road or pretty much a different 4Runner with different skid plates, that's completely okay. The process is the same. You just need to refer to another video to get those removed. This is specifically for the Pro. What I do before I get started is I make sure I have all of my materials. You'll see that I like to use jack ramps, I guess you'd say. These are Rhino ramps, and I pull right up on there. My oil drain pan has an extension so that I don't make a mess. I recommend that as well. They're like 12 bucks. Get you a nice creeper, 6.6 quarts of oil. I use Mobil 10W20, the green label stuff. I make sure my oil filter has the two gaskets that are needed, the little O-rings, and there's the product number on it. You're going to want a low profile cap wrench, and then of course some more little gaskets for the oil drain plug. So looks like we have everything we need. Let's pull the truck up. Alright, now that you got your truck up, admire it in all of its glory while it's doing a small little crawl there. Alright guys, so one of the tools that I didn't put up front was that you're going to need a 14mm to take off these skid bolts. See one there, see one there, there's two more in the back. So let's go ahead and pop those off. I use a Milwaukee drill with a 3/8 to 1/2 inch converter with a 17 socket on it. If you use a drill, don't use it to put it back on. It can be very, very easy on your trigger taking it off. You don't want to strip those bolts. Alright guys, so I had to use a breaker bar to start those, and then I was able to use the drill. Be careful, because that skid plate weighs like 21 pounds, so you don't want it falling on your face, and it will. The front two bolts stay in the skid plate, the rear two come out. So these front two up here are going to stay and not look like they're out, but they are. Don't let it fall on your face. This is the reason we did that, was to get to the oil filter. You're also going to need to remove these two little bolts. I think they're 12mm, they might be 10. I'll confirm here shortly after that's done. Alright guys, so that plate was two 12mm, and then you have a 14mm drain plug. I'm going to go ahead and let it start draining now. Alright guys, so at this point, I've drained the oil, and I've tightened the oil drain plug back up with a new gasket around it to 30 foot-pounds, and I put that door back on. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking a 3/8 drive, I'm loosening this, and I'm taking off this little cap. Okay, so what's going to happen next is you're going to insert in that little, let's go get it. Sorry if I made you dizzy there. I'm pretty sure all we got to do is plug this dude in. Look at that. Spill free. So after we do that, we're going to take our oil cap and remove the filter all the way off. And so that filter is going to come out, and it's not going to be a standard filter like you're used to seeing. It's what's called a paper filter, or a element filter. So you're going to put that in place of the other one. You're going to replace both of these O-rings, and then you're going to put it back together. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to prime your O-rings with a little oil. Rub some on your fingers and rub it on there. And prime the filter by pouring some in there before you install it. Alright guys, hopefully your oil filter change went smooth. Hope you replaced both those O-rings. Check your stuff and make sure you did. Go ahead and hand tighten that oil filter back up. And then, so remember, at this point the car has no oil in it, so be sure you don't start it. Be nice to yourself or your wife or whoever's car this is, and go ahead and top off your fluids. See how we have a nice full tank of windshield wiper fluid. I'm using all season because it's cold in North Carolina. And then you're going to want to add your 6.6 quarts of oil because you did a filter. Anytime you do an oil change, you might as well do a filter unless you're trying to save money on an old car or don't care about it, whatever. But this is 5 quarts of Mobil 1 0W20 advanced fuel economy, like I told you before. And I'm just quickly pouring in 5. And I've got another 1.6 to go in. Now keep in mind, if you primed your filter, you probably put, I don't know, 0.05, 0.1 of a quart. So if that makes a difference to you, it's better to go a little under than a little over. So here I have 1, 2, 3, right at 3 quarts. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her probably like 1.5 and then see where we stand. Because it's a pain to take it out, it's easy to put it in. There's 1.4. That should be about 1.5. There we go. Perfect. Might have been 1.6. All right, now take your stuff off. I'm gonna get 2 hands for this job so I don't make a mess in the engine bay. And then we're gonna crank it up. You'll notice that I haven't put my skid plate back on yet because I wanna make sure I don't have any leaks at the oil filter or the oil drain before I tighten all that stuff back up. So let's go ahead and let her rip. You've got your oil back in, you've got your plugs tightened, your drain tightened, your oil filter tightened. You're ready to go. And then I'll show you how to reprogram the car so you don't have the maintenance code. All right guys, the truck's been running for a minute. I don't see any fresh leaks down there. I visually inspected them as well. And I'm letting the truck warm up so that I can check this dipstick. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do with, get away from the noise there, with one hand, so I'm gonna do that, but it's a long dipstick. Make sure you wipe it down, clean it, and make sure it's reading where you want it to. All right guys, mine was looking good. The oil was perfect level. It's time to put the the skid plate back on. I keep myself a little reminder here in my garage. 6.6 quarts of oil, the drain plug's 30 pounds, and the skid plates are 22 pounds on those 14mm bolts. Keep in mind the 2 that are staying in go on the front. It'll say TRD in the front, so that's how it should go back on. Kind of like that for that, just sideways, you get it. But let's go ahead and show you how to reset the maintenance minder. Oh, okay. So we're gonna cut the car to 3 switches, not crank it, but as close as you can get. You're gonna set your trip meter to A, trip A. Even if it was already on A, you still have to do this. So, trip A. You're going to hold that while you turn the car on. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down. I'm sorry guys, bear with me for 1 second. I may need to update this. Alright guys, so here's how you reset that maintenance required light you just saw. You're going to cut the car to on and make sure that your trip meter is reading trip A. Alright, so it's on trip A. Now I'm going to cut the car off and hold the trip meter while I turn it on. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm still holding and it's resetting. The maintenance data has reset. Now if you didn't already, put your skid plate back on and enjoy your 4Runner. Give it a bath while it's nice and fresh, then go get it muddy. Have a good day.